The laughing cow is the pop art incarnation of the Mona Lisa. It's the two most famous French smiles. Now, everybody goes to the Louvre to see the Mona Lisa, but they go to the grocery store to see the laughing cow. In the context of the mid-60s, I had to try to find something that belonged to me. And then I realized that, more important, I had to find something that belonged to everybody and therefore to nobody. And it occurred to me that there were two things, words and numbers. With words, there's an infinite number of ways to combine them. And with numbers, there's an internal logic that 3 always follows 2, 4 always follows 3. So there was like two competing ways of thinking and more possibilities than anything that was formal or geometric or painterly or anything like that. And so in thinking about words, I turned to the thesaurus because that's where you find words. I've always been very interested in portraiture. And then I thought, well, like words are a representation, I could do word portraits. Of course, I was very aware at that point of Mallarmé and Apollinaire, and there's a long tradition of what's called poems in the shapes of things. So that's how I did the portraits of Eva Hesse, the circular portrait. I tried to find forms and words that came together into an image that represented those people. I had an exhibition in 1995, and I hadn't looked at those early portraits since like 1966. And when I looked at them again, I thought, there's a lot more I could have done with that idea. The way I put it was, there's still some juice in the lemon. So, how to squeeze it? I decided that I would make these thesaurus works into paintings and try to explore an idea about color which was similar to the idea of synonyms. No two synonyms ever mean the exact same thing. And so I decided to make each word a different color, but never use the same color twice. And the interesting thing of using language in that way is that it's almost an invitation for people to engage the paintings and read them. So you're trapped between looking and reading, which are two very separate mental spaces and form a lot of contradictory responses. And so I set out to explore those ideas. I am interested in paradox and irony, contradiction, self-contradiction. And I think that no matter what you do using language, those problems, which usually consist of a meaning inside a meaning, or a meaning yet to be discovered, are inevitable. What I was able to do was to create situations where they were recognizable. Tenderness causes love. The paintings also reflect a moment in the public discourse, which was becoming, well, definitely less polite, more rude, more aggressive. I don't think they're things that people never said before, but I don't think they said them publicly. It's like when Vice President Cheney said to somebody in the Congress, when he was criticizing him about something about Afghanistan, he just turned to him and said, right in front of a camera, "Go fuck yourself." Now that's not something you would have heard publicly when I was growing up, at any rate. So I was trying to reflect the aggressiveness of the public discourse and how, in those paintings, they start out with very formal, classical, Latinate words. And then as you read further and further down, you come to, rude, aggressive, obscene language. The blah, blah, blah idea came to me a long time ago in the 1990s, but the way I was working, I didn't know what to do with it. And then when I started, thinking about the thesaurus in that, one of the thesaurus paintings, Meaningless, ends with blah, blah, blah. And then I thought, well, I could make that the whole painting. What would that mean if it was a painting that said nothing? So I think of the blah, blah, blah as having a number of different expressive registers, as it were. On one level, it's about agreement. So if you're talking to somebody who you're, friendly with or in agreement with, you don't have to end the whole story. You say, yeah, and, blah, 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 blah. Then there's a register where it's very aggressive. Like what you're saying is just a lot of blah, 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 means nothing. And then it is finally regressive. It's just, a sound, an expulsion of breath. It's like at the edge of meaninglessness because you can't say anything. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Ha, ha, ha came from blah, blah, blah because it's the last two letters. When I first thought of it, I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. I thought it was like a one-off idea, just ha, ha, ha. But the more I thought about it and the more I tried different ways of making it, the richer it became as an idea for me, because of the confrontational aspect of the viewer looking at a painting that's laughing at them. How do you respond to that? Like, what are you laughing at? Why are you laughing at me? What does it mean to have a painting laugh? Can a painting laugh? I want it to always be the voice in the head of the reader, not my voice. Because that's one of the enigmas about these paintings, which is who's speaking? Whose voice is it? It's not my voice, it's your voice. It creates a tension in the space between the viewer and the work that cannot be resolved by the work. And then one time I was in, not really an antique store, not really a junk store, somewhere in between. And they had this yellow mug with a laughing cow on it. And I thought it was just very cool and very funny, so I bought it. And then it became my favorite coffee cup in the morning, because you get up and you're feeling kind of grumpy, and then you go and make some coffee. You lift up the cup, this yellow cup, and there's a cow laughing at you. And one of the thoughts that I had was that the laughing cow was kind of a reincarnation of Mona Lisa. So I thought this all comes together with the ha 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 paintings. I think I immediately had the idea. It just seemed completely obvious that there had to be a background of ha ha ha's behind the cow, because now we could sort of hear the cow. And why is the cow laughing? What kind of laughter is it? And then I thought, you know, the words should be dispersed, you know, so that they were light and buoyant. You know, once you start reading all the ha 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 ha, there's different voices, there's different depths, and you want something that's going to have impact. But there are different kinds of impact. The impact on red is different than the impact on blue. A blue cow on red, a red cow on blue. And of course, the earrings are maybe the most enigmatic because it's a kind of mise en abîme. It's a very highly conceptual idea to depict the cow on the package, in the earrings, which depict the cow on the package, in the earrings, which depict the cow forever and ever and ever and ever and ever to infinity. I found that actually, you know, provocative. It's open to interpretation. And I assume that the cow's laughing because it's contented, and contented cows produce better milk, and better milk makes better cheese. So everybody's happy. But then there's other interpretations too. The best graphic design is, you know, something that you can see immediately. It's not pictorial, it's not something you're going to study. So I wanted to make something that would have a real impact. And the black words changing sizes actually creates a landscape because it creates a space around the cow. I wanted to continue the idea on the inside. So we designed each piece of cheese to have a little ha-ha on it. So in a way, it's like a circle of laughter. It continues the outside into the inside, but in a different register. I don't want to overinterpret this. Basically, I think it's really funny. And I hope that people who see it don't have to think anything about semiotics or you know, any kind of language theory. They just look at it and go, ha, that's really funny.